Hello you beautiful nerds of the world, Torok at your service, and it's time for another Death Battle reaction video. Today we have the Hulk, the green Goliath of the Avengers, who is ironically gonna play David in this one, because we're having Godzilla, the king of the monsters, and come here, your render is perfectly fine, I'm not doing that joke a third time. I said it in a previous video, and I'll say it again, of all the matchups that were confirmed by the Kickstarter, you know, back in the day, this is one of the matchups I have the least amount of faith in. Nothing wrong with the matchup. I love the connections. I love the theme, you know, to radioactive ravagers of cities born from nuclear weapons and all that. Like, it sounds incredible on paper, but there's just that one detail that makes me worried about the execution, and it's the same thing everybody that doesn't like this matchup is gonna tell you about. It's the enormous size difference between these two characters. Death Battle has never really explored a fight like this before. Sure, we had moments where, you know, one of the fighters get significantly bigger than the other, than their opponents during a fight, but that was like, it's often during like short moments, short cool moments, like short and sweet moments during an entire fight, like in Omni-Man versus Bardock, or what was my example, Kratos versus Asura. And when there's a big size difference, like throughout the whole fight, a bit too often the fight is directed in a way that ignores that entirely, like in Simone versus Kyle or Megatron versus Frieza. But to me, the way these two characters fight don't really blend well in a scenario, like in a one-on-one scenario where you want both characters to be cool. I don't know if you get where I'm going. I'm just, in a scenario like a death battle, if a character is like significantly larger, like Godzilla, like is significantly larger to a point where the other fighter is just a tiny blue dot, I'm just, and given how these two characters fight, I'm just scared the fight is gonna be a bit like goofy. Like, for example, Godzilla is at its dopest when he fights like entire armies of smaller guys, or when he fights like titans just as big as himself. And the Hulk, sure, he has punched giants before, like no problem, but it's oftentimes to the giant's expense. It's a fight that's more here to portray how strong Hulk is, you know, and it just like he's just jumping into, or like he's jumping into unsurmountable odds or something. It's just showing you how strong the Hulk is. I don't see how well those can blend, because you are also supposed to make Godzilla look cool. And I'm not talking like the versus debate side of things. I don't really care about that part. I'm talking like purely from an artistic side of view. Like, artistically speaking, in my head, how the fight would go is like it keeps bouncing between like tiny little blue dots, gets smushed under a big giant Godzilla if Godzilla wins, or it's a Godzilla that loses and it gets his ass kicked by something like so small you can't even see it on screen. Kind of like that one scene with Patrick Star when it beats himself, you know the one. Really nothing done in Death Battle's past that fully reassures me that they can make a full fight with this enormous size difference in mind. At least not in a way that would mischaracterize one or the other. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just like a fight that really puts the two characters on equal footing, and when you have to constantly adjust the camera to be able to view one or the other. I don't know, it's something I've never fully seen in Death Battle before, because at least Omni-Man versus Bardock, like, at least Omni-Man could fly and Bardock could teleport. So there's a lot of back and forth you could do with those forms. Extreme mobility is not really Godzilla and Hulk's thing, so, you know, even the sneak peeks of this very fight, it either like zoomed in on Godzilla or it zooms in on Hulk, and you don't really see either of them like on the same screen, aside from like that big clash with the big ball, whereas Hulk is just like a big ball of green lightning. So I don't know. I trust Death Battle. I think I'm one of the biggest Death Battle wanker you can imagine, but I also know they're not flawless, and given how Death Battle has handled this issue before, and how specifically these two characters handle foes with each other's size, with that size difference in mind, it makes me worried that the writing of the fights can. It makes me worried that the writing of the fight is going to be one side, or it's going to be one side at a time. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I'm overthinking this at the end, and whether you agree or disagree with what I'm just trying to say, or disagreed because you probably watched the original by then, did you? It's certainly going to be a unique fight, and ultimately my hopes, is that it does go as hard as it sounds. So, let's talk about how I know these characters. Well, how do you not know them is the better question. Like, Hulk is one of the most iconic superheroes of all time. Like, even if you haven't read or watched anything about him, you've at least heard of the guy. Same with Godzilla. Like, he's the classic giant monster of all giant monsters. Like, you literally, you figuratively and literally can't get past him. Personally, my only real reference is the 2014 movie, and I remember loving the hell out of that movie when I was a kid, and so naturally it's my favorite Godzilla version. I don't know, I just like how chunky he is. Aside from that, most of the things I know is from their last appearance on Death Battle. And I know they picked up a lot since then, which naturally leads me to who I think is going to win. I mean, thankfully, like, I've talked a lot, but thankfully, they're both very straightforward. I mean, Hulk is like immortal, angry man, gets his power from hell. Godzilla is just a big dinosaur that feeds on radiation. It's not going to be any more complex than... Oh, Godzilla, damn it! So, I had the misfortune of learning about Godzilla Ultima. And in this, he's apparently a multi-dimensional level mathematical god that has nothing to do with radiation, that can alter reality and all of creation to its whim, and he can only be beaten by solving a math equation, but actually no, because if you actually do solve it, he can still come back and undo his own defeat. The only way you can actually defeat him is to make him think you've defeated him, but even that doesn't work, because he's God and he can do everything, and fuck you. Yeah, you know the cool theme about this matchup being about radiation and nuclear weapons and all of that? To the bin! I don't know, I almost wish they don't even bring it up. Like, I'm sure they will, because otherwise it wouldn't be fair, but... I don't know, every conversation I've seen surrounding this fight has always been Ultima this, Ultima that. It really feels like it's the only argument for Godzilla winning this match. And it just... I don't know, it feels like the least Godzilla of all Godzillas, and it saps the whole fun of me. Like, you know, it saps the fun I get from this. So again, not looking forward to this fight in the slightest. I don't know, I think I've talked enough. I think I've bothered you enough with my rambling. Plus, I'm running out of time before the video starts, so I'm just gonna shut up. I'm gonna see how Death Battle chooses to handle this fight, and then I'll form my opinion around their analysis. So, without further ado, let's finally watch and hope this fight is cool. There it is. Ha! It's green. Get it? It's green! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, I can't count, 4, 3. at his throat for some reason. Alright! Yeah, see, that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to see that necessarily.
Versus Godzilla.
Marvel's Green Goliath against the king of the monsters.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze our weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. It's fun that this is Marvel Rivals model. Oh yeah, and this. The Hulk is the personification of the enemy which lurks under the surface of all of us. We have to control that enemy within ourselves, or we can't control the conduct of the world.
What is the Hulk? Is
I
he
do
man?
like the
Is he
dedication
monster?
to the idea.
Or is he both?
He's a mean green smashing machine, the angry
The dedication
son of
to the theme.
gamma bomb.
A weapon designed by the greatest gamma scientist of all, Dr. Robert Bruce Banner.
Sorry,
But
checking over.
just
Yes, there
before
we
it
go.
went off, Bruce had to be a hero and save some dumb schmuck who was hanging around the test site. Damn it, Rick.
That day, Bruce Banner died.
And became the Incredible Hulk, a pissed off giant who must be really glad Bruce wears the purple stretch fit.
Standing
Yeah.
8 feet tall and stronger than 10 million men, the Hulk emerges
A bit
when
more,
Banner's
I'd say.
anger flares.
Add a couple
Don't make
billions.
him angry. You won't like him when he's angry.
But it's even more complex than that. Banner suffers from
Add a
dissociative
couple
identity
quadrillion
disorder,
humans,
with
I think.
many different Hulks embodying alternate personalities.
Like Joe Fixit, the original Grey Hulk. He's a cunning gangster and the only Hulk who's got that drip.
The Devil Hulk is a violent, overprotective personality that Banner unintentionally manifested as a result of his father's abuse.
Holy shit! Somebody actually drew this?
But the Hulk everyone knows, the big guy,
Likes
is known
puppies!
as Savage.
Former ruler of Sakaar, abnormal alters, Doug Green, Claw, the Dark Hulk, Maestro, I think it's the evil Hulk, from the future or something, like he's got the beard. Mindless Hulk, Null, Titan, Uber Hulk, alters, Devil, Fractured Sun, Green Scar, Guilt, Joe Fixit, Professor Savage, Worldbreaker.
Hulk. It seems he also developed from parental abuse, hence his childlike personality. Though I'd argue he's more clever than you'd expect.
The angrier he is, the stronger he gets, with no limit.
Except for one, Bruce Banner. See, Banner's relationship with the Hulk is complicated.
Oh, they hate each other.
Mostly. Occasionally, they can come to an understanding. The alter best representing this would be the Professor Hulk, a balanced blend of
I see this
Banner's
as an
brain
absolute
and the
win.
Hulk's brawn.
The buffest nerd you'll ever meet. But what about when Bruce takes a step back? If he isn't trying to restrain the
Stellar
Hulk,
radiation.
what do you get?
The Green Scar.
Super speed,
The
super
World
super genius,
Breaker.
intelligence
Without
as
Bruce's
Bruce.
temperament, the Hulk's
Reactive
power and
adaptation,
fury
rapid regeneration,
surges, mixing Savage's rising strength with the personality and
Gamma
cunning
radiation
of a warlord.
manipulation.
The Green
Okay.
Scar is no mere superhero. He's a king and a conqueror.
Hulk is strong enough to lift 150 billion tons of rock.
She-Hulk tried to lessen the load for him, but she could barely lift the amount of... Whoa, phrasing. But she could barely lift the amount of weight Hulk... She could barely lift the amount of weight Hulk let her try.
Jump from New Mexico to Florida in a single bound and shake all the dimensions connected by the crossroads at once. He was
Yeah,
pinned
that beats
down by the
Broly,
spear of
for
Project
sure.
Midnight, which holds the weight of a star, and was fine. And when we say World Breaker, we mean it. While sparring with Red She-Hulk, the two of them shattered a whole planet.
At one point, he was bound in chains forged from the essence of the first firmament, the manifestation of the first universe, which could bind eternity itself. Not even Galactus was capable of saving eternity alone, and the Hulk just broke it. By himself.
Maybe Thor should rethink calling himself the strongest Avenger, especially since the Avengers first assembled because none of them could take down Hulk on their own.
Speaking of Thor,
Nice.
the Hulk consistently battles on par with him, even when he held the Odin Force, with which he could command his hammer through infinite distances and match the power of Null, who killed countless Celestials. Even without it, Mjolnir can cross the universe in seconds.
Hulk tore a universe apart with just a clap. Good luck with that, Hammer Man. But the green guy's got way more going on than just brute strength.
As the Hulk's power stems from gamma, he can utilize and absorb it and other radiation in various ways.
Yeah, like regenerating from fatal wounds. Even getting ripped apart by Wolverine barely slows him down.
And the angrier he gets, the more regenerating cells his body produces.
It gets weirder. Did you know that if he absorbs enough gamma, he can shoot lasers from his eyes and read people's minds?
Wait, what?
Also, he can see ghosts and give him a good old-fashioned Hulk smash.
Hulk can break through the boundaries of comic book borders themselves into the empty white between panels, a gutter space beyond time and concept.
What, like how She-Hulk can for some reason break the fourth wall and talk to the reader? Oh, wait, that makes sense now. It's all gamma.
Exactly. In real life, gamma rays are electromagnetic radiation similar to X-rays.
But in Marvel Comics, gamma comes from hell.
Yeah.
Earth 616, gamma radiation is an electromagnetic frequency that can manifest as either a wave, a particle, or something else. Something that nobody really understands.
Except for Bruce.
That's right. Dr. Banner is a certified genius with 7 PhDs. According to Norman Osborn, he's the 4th smartest person on the planet.
And that's comparing him to big brains like Reed, Doom, and Tony.
Banner built the Her Collider Synchrotron, a machine that can scan the entire multiverse with the speed of a hypermind. He created the Gamma Core, which could rupture space-time between universes. He built an interstellar radio on a deserted planet without any pre-established technology. He wired up Hulk like a starship, piloting him from the mindscape within. He even built an ultimate nullifier. In fact, the original intent of his Gamma Bomb was to be non-lethal, only targeting inorganic material.
But Thunderbolt Ross wanted something with a bit more boom.
Yeah.
Hey, can't blame him.
Fearing its ramifications, Banner developed the Gamma Bomb on his own, keeping its design secret. In the process, he tapped into an unknown form of gamma energy that breaks down reality and mutates it beyond actuality. On that fateful day, he opened the Green Door.
You know how we said the bomb killed Bruce? That wasn't some flowery metaphor or whatever. He died and came back as Hulk.
Came back from the below place, the hell beneath hell, the lowest possible dimension of reality.
It's trippy, but whenever Hulk dies, he goes there. Then a green door opens and he goes back to where he was before. Easy as that. It doesn't matter if he's been atomized, sliced up into jars, or digested by werewolves. If he goes through the door, he's back, ready to rumble. The green door did get locked into a red door, but he's easily broken through it multiple times. Not a problem.
It turns out that third form of gamma, this anomaly from the bedrock of hell, spawns from none other than the one below all.
There it is.
The dark side of the one above all.
That's right, God has a Hulk, and it wants Bruce to bring about the end of all things. But Hulk just said, nah.
So, what is the Hulk? An uncontrollable monster? A prison for a tortured soul? A super weapon for Armageddon?
Don't overthink it, Wiz. Hulk is Hulk, and Hulk's the strongest one there is.
At the end of the day, Godzilla is the son of the atomic bomb. He is a nightmare created out of the darkness of the human soul. He is the sacred beast of the apocalypse.
The year was
All right,
1946. The press gathered at Bikini Atoll to witness the power of the nuclear bomb. But many leagues beneath their feet, something ancient stirred.
Godzilla, the king of the monsters. He was pretty pissed off over the worst wake-up ever, so he swam to Japan for one hell of a crash out.
Japan was
So they seem to be focusing a lot on
so seeing this
Bruce's
mutilated
mind,
radioactive
you know?
monster towering high like a mushroom cloud wasn't just frightening, it seemed prophetic. The bomb was just the beginning. Man had sparked the end of times.
Complete with googly eyes, and the most epic roar ever.
I'm not doing a Liam. Liam
Over the
did it, but I'm
years,
not
there
trying
have
it.
been many iterations of the beast.
Between movies, TV, comics, and cartoons, there's at least 27 different Godzillas stomping around, not including Manila, the scrappy do of kaiju. Sorry, that's insulting to Scrappy Doo.
Despite the variety, Godzilla is somewhat
Name Gojira, height 15 meters at minimum, weighs 20,000 tons at minimum, aka the king of the monsters. Evolutions: burning, critical mass, evolved, nightmare option, rage, shin forms, super, ultimate mode, Santa Claus, no really, president of the USA in Looney Tunes. I'd like to see that.
consistent, so we'll examine his entire history, focusing on the larger releases.
Yeah, that's my
In most
Godzilla.
iterations, Godzilla is a rare theropod that went dormant for millions of years before nuclear bombs mutated it into a gargantuan radioactive monster.
Standing 165 feet tall, at minimum, Koji smashes through skyscrapers with ease. He's so casual about bullets and rockets, they might as well be gnats. And the bombs did so much more than just pump up his size. He's got atomic breath.
A concentrated beam or spray of radioactive heat. With an estimated range of 1,100 miles, it can exceed 500,000 degrees Celsius, almost 90 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
But depending on how much radiation he's absorbed, or, life energy from a giant pterodactyl, he can do way more with it.
His red spiral ray is a supercharged version that doubles in heat and power, and spins.
Or he can blast it out of his back and fly.
Or
Well,
just fly
he
with
can
his mouth.
Always do that, I guess. Look
Yeah.
at him
With enough energy built up,
There it
Godzilla
is.
can blast a nuclear pulse out of his whole
That goes
body,
hard.
creating a massive wave of atomic destruction.
go. His breathing laser can even break through dimensions, like when he found himself face to face with a giant mech piloted by Hatsune Miku.
There's also a number of era-exclusive powers. Shin Godzilla can fire rays from his tail.
And Hanna-Barbera Godzilla can fire rays from his eyes. Pew pew.
Effectively
Yeah.
a living nuclear reactor, Shin possesses a natural phased array radar that can detect and attack threats automatically. And Godzilla Earth, who grew over 1,000 feet tall across 2,000 years, could make a barrier only penetrable by kaiju that can bypass physics.
And don't forget, Big G can ball with the best of them. After Charles Barkley got him his own pair of Nikes, Godzilla got busy.
You know, it's kind of hard to emphasize just how impressively terrifying Godzilla can be when you're bringing up this sort of thing.
Oh yeah? Why don't you find a better spokesperson for Dr. Pepper? Fine, let's talk about when his presence boiled the entire Arctic Ocean, or how he
Oh.
picked up and threw Biolante, which weighed 200,000 tons, or when he no-sold not one, not two, but 3 meteors.
Including the Permian period extinction event that happened about 200 million years ago.
Then he went to hell, fought some fucked up versions of God and Satan,
There it
and
is.
atomic breath that Space Godzilla so hard that he blew up the whole planet. That's scary enough for you? God, I want a Dr. Pepper.
Such awesome might, he's battled the most dangerous of foes, like King Ghidorah and Gigan. In Godzilla vs. Megalon, Gigan flew from the M Hunter Nebula to Earth in 24 seconds, and that nebula is 30,000 light years away.
But sadly, OG
Godzilla's fought Space Godzilla multiple times, who flew from a black hole to Earth in a short span of time.
And that nebula is 30,000 light years away.
But sadly, OG Goji got done in by the cruelest weapon ever.
The Oxygen Destroyer. Developed in secret by Dr. Serizawa, this weapon could suffocate and liquefy molecules. The ramifications of such a weapon were so detrimental, Serizawa took the secrets of its design to his early grave.
He got lucky. It doesn't matter what you throw at Godzilla. He never really dies. You can blow off his head, explode him from the inside, or crush him in a black hole. Then he'll come back.
Or evolve into an even more powerful form. Godzilla's always possessed heightened adaptation, but many iterations clearly showcase instantaneous evolution.
And super forms. He's gone full shonen and powered up a few times. So much so, he almost kicked off a nuclear winter just by existing.
Even the Oxygen Destroyer could not permanently end the first Godzilla. His ghost possessed a robot, his bones summoned another Godzilla, and he rose as an undead revenant hell-bent on destroying Japan.
Okay, why Japan? Couldn't he pick on some other country?
He's stomped around the Americas a few times, but it just isn't the same.
Yeah.
Godzilla is intrinsically linked with Japan, a symbol of both their devastation and resilience. A reminder of the threat of nuclear war and what awaits those who peer too deeply into the unknown. but also Japan's and Godzilla's perceived territory. To him, a stomping through Osaka is just another patrol.
He's not always so bad, though. He can be super protective, defending other monsters.
I mean,
So
yeah,
can-
being territorial means you're gonna defend your territory from outsiders.
Sometimes even people. I'd say there's two types of Godzillas. The monster of nature's wrath and the guardian of planet Earth.
Well, there is a third type, but to understand that, we should first answer a question. How does Godzilla walk?
On two legs, Wiz, obviously.
But according to Square Cube law, those legs should be crushed under his own weight.
Oh god, here we go again.
A creature like Godzilla cannot realistically exist. This proved to be an elusive question for decades, even highlighted in Shin Godzilla, until a new theory was presented in the anime Singular Point.
There
If
it is.
Godzilla can't exist in our reality, what if he's from a different one?
What? Like he's an alien from another dimension?
Exactly! What if all kaiju come from a higher plane of existence with no regard for the known laws of physics? This dimension enters our reality in the form of archetype, a trans-temporal conceptual particle.
It's that red dust that's floating all over the place.
This archetype can enter any timeline to terraform the Earth and all of reality so that kaiju can exist. This theoretically explains why various Godzillas appear in so many universes. They all trace back to one singular point: Godzilla
Ultima!
Sporting the wide grin of a demonic Oni, Ultima is vicious. Just walking through Tokyo started 1,000 earthquakes around Japan. Even his own blood is a weapon.
Over 300 feet tall and growing ever more as archetype distorts the universe, Ultima's existence implies a far more complex origin for all Godzillas. Godzilla is a test for humanity, a challenge laid out by an eldritch entity from a dimension we are incapable of perceiving or comprehending.
Multiple Godzilla timelines are referenced in the credits of each episode of Singular Point, so implying a connection. The anime also references a 1955 Godzilla attack, like in the original film.
Eldritch entity from a dimension we are incapable of perceiving or comprehending.
It's kind of like how when we move an object and its shadow changes, we get why that happened. But to someone who exists in only a 2D plane, the shadow looks like it just randomly transformed into something totally different. Crazy to think about. Come a really long way from Big Lizard Smash Building, huh?
Yeah, a bit too far, I
This
think.
wannabe god desires to play with and destroy every single universe.
And Godzilla is its avatar.
Through Ultima, this entity sees the universe as an interactable fiction and can control causality. Ultima himself is a singular point, one of many gateways through which the entity can tamper with reality.
Think of it this way. If something happens that the entity doesn't like, it can just say, that thing didn't actually happen, and presto, it no longer happened.
That's not to say such an event can't happen in the moment of occurrence, but the entity disconnects cause and effect and nullifies events in retrospect without regard for time.
And now my head hurts. TLDR, Ultima tried to bring about a catastrophe that would end the universe in like a week's time. So, a wacky robot and a time-traveling Alexa used a supercomputer and this familiar-looking doohickey
The orthogonal diagonalizer.
to zap all of Archetype into its final form, cutting off the entity's connection to the universe.
But not killing it. Because while each Godzilla has its differences, one thing remains certain.
Godzilla is immortal, and that makes him the king.
I feel like they got like this was fourth dimensional TLDR. Like I feel like there was like TLDRs to explain the TLDRs to explain the TLDR. So God damn it. I need to rewatch this. I need to, like, I often rewatch the rundown before I go to the fights, but I need extra attention on that one. So I'll be right back. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I hate it because it's not an answer that I can have right now. So 2 things about the Hulk. His entire being is like gamma radiation mutated him outside of what does he say? I'm sorry, I need to recheck this.
And mutates it beyond actuality.
Beyond actuality. There you go. There you go. They say that Hulk gamma radiation transformed Hulk like beyond actuality. Does that alter like the probability alterations of Ultima? Can that transcend all alterations of probability that Ultima can attempt? It's one of those like because if it's beyond actuality, if Hulk exists on a level that is beyond actuality, that would mean the Hulk shouldn't be necessarily affected by Godzilla's probability altering options and whatever. It doesn't necessarily help the Hulk kill Godzilla effectively, like destroy the entity. Bruce can figure it out, I guess, because he's developed machines that can scan universes and like what was it? A god's mind speed or whatever, like incalculable speed, or like he's got his own ultimate nullifier. If they bring that into the mix, that would be a problem. But it depends, because the Hulk and Bruce are constantly fighting each other, and when they are at their most, they're not necessarily at the most powerful when they are on good terms with each other, I would say. So I don't know. On a base level, I feel like Godzilla still has a bit more he's got a bit more thing going on in terms of versatility. Hulk seems to be faster, at least on a physical sense. He still seems to be faster than any avatar of Godzilla. It's all about if Hulk can destroy Godzilla. Godzilla could probably affect things like the Green Door. Oh yeah, and there's that second thing I didn't talk about. That second thing about the Hulk. The Hulk can break through the fourth wall, quote unquote. He can shatter into gutter space. I don't know how big a deal this is to reach Ultima, to reach the entity. That sounds like a big deal to think about when we are talking about like Hulk trying to reach Godzilla Ultima, I would say. Godzilla seems to still have more. He still feels like he has a bit more shit to throw at Hulk. Like on the versatility scale, especially if his archetypes are basically if the entity is the embodiment of all kaijus, that means he can throw all kaiju at Hulk. There's gonna be a lot. there's gonna be some, there's a lot that he can throw at him for sure. I still think Hulk embodies most of Godzilla's avatars and can counter some of Godzilla's basic tricks. Like, ironically, the laser beam could be funny. Lasers from their eyes, absorbing rate. Would Hulk be able to absorb the atomic breath? Because he absorbs energy, right? I think I didn't pay enough attention on that part. I only focused on the cosmic stuff. I heard something about that he can absorb like energy, like other than, or he can absorb gamma in all of its form, and like gamma, it's kind of a wacky stuff. Can exist in pretty much everything. But I'm convinced that Bruce can figure out the entity. I think it would take him some time. I don't know if the entity would let that happen, so to speak. Could Ultima separate Bruce from the Hulk? That would be a problem. I think Godzilla could affect things like the Green Door, maybe. But apparently, like, Hulk doesn't care about that. He can just smash through it and just smash his way back to life, which is insane. We're not including the one below all into this because the Hulk said nah. So I'm just focusing on Hulk. There's a part of me that is leaning towards Hulk. I want to believe Hulk has a way, like the fact that he can break into gutter space, which is like literally the lines between comics, and like it's literally essentially breaking the fourth wall. It's like, would that be considered like higher than even the entity's level of even the entity's dimensional level? You know what I mean? It's a mix of like the Hulk exists on outside of actuality or something like that. So maybe there's some wacky stuff that he can break through, like probability alteration, stuff like that. I want to believe that. If he can't do that, I don't know what like Hulk could do. This is a tough one because like the question is simple, but like the question is simple. The answer takes 10 million years. It's just like could the Hulk reach the entity? And I'm trying to think of maybe arguments for it. I'm thinking of the gutter space. I'm thinking of his very existence, like gamma existing outside of actuality. I don't know. That's a big quote for me. The fact that they spend so much time talking about like Bruce's genius mind, that he managed to figure things beyond human comprehension, so he could figure out Godzilla. But it's all about if also the entity would want, it's how much can Hulk reach the entity and how involved is the entity in this fight. I want to believe the Hulk can reach high enough to punch the entity in the face. The fact that Hulk exists out of actuality, that's the only fucking thing that is like keeping me from saying, oh, Godzilla just solos. Just like rewrites reality and just stops the Hulk. But the other thing is, the Hulk, like, to reach this level of insane power, the Hulk needs to get angry enough to break through those stages, right? So it's kind of like, I'm curious whether or not he can even reach that point before Godzilla finds a way to sever that link. I mean, both of his death is because because like his rage could be cut in the middle of the fight. I don't know, Godzilla, sorry, not the entity, Godzilla, the Godzilla, every versions of Godzilla match anything Hulk has in terms of physical stats, speed and strength. The best I could think of is like when Godzilla kills God and all that thing, or like there's that kaiju that flies from like the universe into Earth or something, or like flies from a black hole to Earth in like a mere moments. I think Hulk just matching with Thor would be able to match that. I'm going the underdog route. I'm not certain. Like I think I have something, but I also think I'm missing, or I'm misinterpreting things like entirely. But I want to believe Hulk is... No. Oh, god damn it. God damn it, this fight's complicated. It's all about shattering the entity, but and if Hulk exists again, if Hulk exists out of actuality, and things can still happen things can still happen in the present against Godzilla. You know, he can still be affected in some way. And like he's able to break through stuff like that even Eternity couldn't break through. He can break through, again, he can break through the shutter space. And he can, like, he's from the one below, I don't know. I feel like Bruce Banner should be able to figure out something like the Entity. But not in the middle of the fight as well, you know? I want to say Hulk. I want to say Hulk. I don't know. My guts and mind want to tell me Hulk. But I feel like I'm wrong. I feel like I'm 100% wrong. You know what? You know what? It's all or nothing. You know what? If I lose this one, it's okay. I need to be okay. I'm going for Hulk. I'm going the underdog on this. I'm going to be the underdog on this. Yep. 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 Hulk. Final verdict. Hulk. Please don't go in the free 0 round. Get at least one win, but it's not gonna be easy. 3, 2, 1, Hulk, go. Alright, the commits are set. We run the data for all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Alright, time to see if this fight is good. Let's at least focus on that. Alright, there he is.
Godzilla has reached the city. So far, the evacuation is... Wait, look!
There's something! Ooh! Ooh! Yeah, no. That's not gonna work. Alright! Fight! Alright, he's climbing. Climbing him. Really cool. Ow.
Alright, Hulk. Time for me to take over. We don't want any trouble.
No! Hulk stays!
Ooh, laser.
You think you're strong?
Hulk, strongest there is! Ooh! 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 Okay, okay, okay. Ooh! Oh, okay, he's blasting himself, that's cool. Laser! No! Big boom! That's cool. Big beam! Ah! Damn. Ooh. That's Shin Godzilla right there. Potentially. Or, you know.
Stupid lizard.
Yeah. Ultima. The red door. Punch through it. Uh-oh. Alright, Hulk. You can figure it out.
I think I understand.
There it is! Come on, Hulk! Ah! It's a time loop. No?
It's been days since the battle began, and the red dust is spreading. Godzilla has grown in size, but we believe we are...
Jesus Christ!
How does it work?
Well, smash. A million, trillion to one and rising. That's the odds. Chance to nullify the madness behind the monster. 2 + 2 is 5. A right angle is 80 degrees. This element is beyond what we can perceive. Like gamma. 1,000 times. A million. A
Come on!
trillion.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
I just need one.
Come on! Uh-oh. Ooh, there it is! You got him! Ooh! Please. Is it the end?
You did it, big guy. We did it.
Yes! Hulk! Always smash!
It's complicated, so let's break this down into 3 categories. First up, most versions of Godzilla can shrug off black holes and extinction level events, tag beyond light speed foes like Gigan, blow up planets. However, the Hulk is beyond that.
Yeah, nope. Some Godzillas have defeated characters like Thor and Superman in comics, but these scenarios involve off-comic gags or Elseworlds variants with unique circumstances and less power than their mainline counterparts. Yeah, of course.
The big guy clapped a universe to bits and shook the infinite.
Yeah, no,
dimensions
Godzilla
like
avatars
the
had no
crossroads.
chance.
In a straight fight with a classic Godzilla, 616 Hulk smashes the power advantage.
Yeah,
But
no.
factoring in Ultima changes things. The entity sees all of space-time and can manipulate its results at a whim. No matter how strong the Hulk got, Ultima could potentially negate it.
But Hulk broke chains made of the first firmament, which could overwhelm eternity.
An abstract concept of a being not entirely unlike Ultima's entity.
Even
Okay.
a small piece of the first firmament.
In the singular point novel, Pelops suggests that Ultima can lose by connecting it to an episode where it is defeated, essentially manipulating meta-narrative. This is one of multiple proposed methods. Proposed methods. Physical combat combined with the diagonalizer is determined to be the most effective option.
Could break the multiverse. Plus, Hulk kept up with Odin Force Thor, who is also on a celestial level of power.
So the gap in power becomes nebulous. Still, unless Hulk could remove Ultima from the equation, neither held a clear advantage in power and stats.
Especially when you look at their immortality.
This was practically a never-ending death loop. Even with their healing factors, both could technically kill each other, but then just come right back.
The green door instantly appears when Hulk goes to the below place, and the higher dimensional entity could always summon a replacement Godzilla avatar. So both Hulk and Godzilla could not stay dead.
Unless they could somehow prevent what was happening in those other dimensions. So let's examine the layers of their multiverses.
There it
Marvel's
is.
Cosmos has infinite higher dimensions, which themselves are transcended by the astral plane, the superflow, and so on until you reach the House of Ideas, the domain of the one above all.
Since the one below all mirrors the one above all, the below place mirrors the House of Ideas. Get it?
In comparison, the cosmos of Godzilla's multiverse is just as vast and infinite, but does not have the same sort of transcending layers above and below. This means
Aww.
the below place, the Hulk's respawn point and source of power, is out of the entity's reach.
So the real question is, if they both can't die and Ultima's entity can't affect the below place, could Hulk somehow stop the entity before it destroyed the universe?
Hulk Broa Pactum Aeternus, an unbreakable contract of reality set by the eldest child of the Mother of Horrors. An entity beyond existence and older than the one above all. Considering the difference in scale of their cosmologies, this outclasses even the most charitable interpretations of the entity in singular points. You know something you know what I said on the intro? The original version of that intro is when I talked about Ultima. I don't want, like, I know this sounds like I'm rewriting my own intro, but I really wanted to say Godzilla Ultima didn't even impress me. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, this was this was the conclusion not the conclusion, but like this was my theory that, like, yeah, Ultima doesn't even impress me. He claps the one below all. Sorry, let me continue. Let me resume.
The below place. Could Hulk somehow stop the entity before it destroyed the universe?
It all comes down to Gamma and Archetype. Ultima was defeated in the anime by using a trans-temporal super-dimension calculator operating at infinite speeds to activate the orthogonal diagonalizer, turning Archetype against itself.
Ultima endlessly spews this stuff, so there's plenty to work with. And Hulk can reach into comic book gutter space, so he should be able to reach through a singular point.
There it is.
That's not enough.
Fortunately for Hulk, it just so happens he knows someone who, like scientists who have defeated Godzilla in the past, is an expert on particles from a greater dimension that mutate reality beyond our understanding.
Who made a device with those particles that breaks space-time, like the diagonalizer?
Finding the code of the orthogonal diagonalizer, that's a mouthful, finding the code is defined as an NP complete problem. A real world classification of difficulty. Banner's intellect is comparable to 6161 Reed Richards, who solved the PS pass, complete problems mid-combat, and even higher difficulty tier.
Who made a supercomputer that scanned the infinite multiverse with the speed of a hypermind, like the Dimension Calculator? Hell, the guy made an interstellar radio out of sticks and stones in a matter of days, and even built an ultimate nullifier. It's like he was made for this.
The Green Door waits for no Hulk, including Banner. Even if Ultima's catastrophe destroyed the universe, the door could deposit Banner in a different universe, and he could continue the fight.
Godzilla briefly mutated from gamma radiation in an Elseworlds comic. It's possible this mutated Godzilla could appear in the below place, but it will be out of the entity's reach and no longer usable. Hulk could also absorb the gamma energy out of Godzilla.
He had all the time in the infinite multiverse.
There was only one way this could end, and only one person who could make it so.
Even among gods and monsters, man was the Ultima weapon.
The winner is Bruce Banner.
That's funny. I like that it's Bruce Banner and not the Hulk.
Next time.
Sorry, I forgot. There's no closing door. Whatever. So the fight. It has a bit of what I was worried about, which is this fight is a lot from the perspective of the Hulk. There wasn't a lot about. It was mostly the Hulk, like, doing cool ass things. Climbing Godzilla, doing, and attacking, and fighting him, using his small size to his advantage and stuff like that. It goofed a bit on Godzilla. That's what I was worried about, but it was still kind of fine. I like the unique twist that it takes of the fight taking places for days and days on end, and like Bruce making the calculation, making an infinity gauntlet or whatever he gave him. The fact that it's Bruce that carries the fight. Everyone was like, "Oh, Ultima's gonna carry Godzilla's win." We didn't expect Bruce Banner to carry Hulk's victory. It is, but it's kind of a unique fight. I like the banter between Hulk and Banner, but again, this fight is very much from the Hulk's perspective, which is kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. I hope Godzilla fans can still appreciate how they portray Godzilla in this thing. I think they still did a pretty good job, despite again the size difference. They don't. I don't know. I'm still not very convinced by this fight, but it sure was epic. I'm just not sure how Godzilla fans would see this. You know what I mean? Because, like, to me it was fucking cool, like, the Hulk taking on this gigantic beast for days on end, and it just never stops and stuff like that, but, and just, like, yeah, breaking it's also cool how they portray Godzilla's regeneration, like, how he gets messed up, and he still, like, regenerates from everything. The atomic blast is pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know how I feel about this fight right now. It's still very cool. It's visually impressive. Huge props on the animation. I think it's Devil Artemis, and like for reproducing like Ultima, the red mist, the archetype mist, and whatever. Huge props on the voice actors. Music was fine. I don't talk enough about the music during my reaction. But, the music doesn't sound like it's too much of a. It's funny. It looks and feels less like a death battle, and it feels more like just a story. It's an actual fan fiction. It's an actual story, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's very unique. It's a very unique case. It is definitely impressive. It is definitely unique. It is definitely something that we. It's definitely something unique that we haven't seen before when it comes to death battle. Again, great representation of the entity. I don't know if people had to. I don't know if this is like straight up a screenshot from like singular point, or if this is like straight up or like someone had to redraw this, but the way Godzilla dies is also kind of cool. And again, I love the touch that it's not the Hulk. They don't say the winner is the Hulk, it's the winner is Bruce Banner. Oh. Well, you didn't steal this one, Hulk. You know what? If you disagree with this fight, I won't beat you with a stick, because like this is shenanigan. To me, the way they portrayed this, it made sense to me since day one. I don't know if that makes sense. You know, it's a hypothesis that it's a hypothesis that I don't know. It's a hypothesis that I first thought when I first learned of Ultima. It's just like he's a high dimensional god. I was like, yeah, but doesn't Hulk like get angry, clap the one below all, even for a moment? Like, and Marvel's cosmology is like bullshit. It would just transcend whatever Ultima's got. So, yeah. Yeah. But you know what? That's still a win for me, baby! Anyway, great fights. Very interesting fights, most importantly. Extremely interesting fights. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna be real. I love the analysis segment. The rundown segment is very funny. How the transition of like talking about regular Godzilla to Ultima is just like, how does he walk? And that's what leads to talking about Ultima. I think that was a that was a great way of like, that was a good segment of like I don't know, progressing the analysis. Maybe the rundown was good. The editing was on point again. Yeah, no, that's a very, very good. From what I can pick up, it's very good. Godzilla's getting clowned on a bit, but for sometimes, but it's also very epic, so I can't be like too mad. I was expecting it to be epic. It's the part I was worried about, that Godzilla would maybe get a bit clowned on a bit too much. But I want actual Godzilla fans to tell me, or like fans of Death Battle that rooted for Godzilla, to let me know what you think of that, of specifically the characterization on Godzilla and how he's portrayed and how he gets defeated, and or how he beats the shit out of Hulk, because he still gets a few hidden, well, mostly atomic breaths, but like, I don't know. Let me know what you think of all of that in the comments. This feels like it can be an interesting conversation. This is gonna spark a lot of interesting discussions. But you know what? Let's move on to next time on Death Battle. Let's just go. 3, 2, 1, click.
The winner is Bruce
I love that
Banner.
touch again.
Next time
On Death Battle! Ruby versus Maka Albarn! Episode 200! That's right, it's episode 200, I forgot about that.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
You are going to die, Ruby. That makes me sad. I like Ruby. But apparently this matchup is like... apparently... I don't have too many hopes. Unlike that one. Oh, I have to draw scythes. No, fuck. I have to draw her scythe because, for those who don't know, I make fan arts of every upcoming Death Battles that you see on the thumbnails of these videos. Sometimes I throw streams around them. I don't promise it, but subscribe if you want to find out if I do. Or if I don't, I don't know, mystery, it's always good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I feel like this was a lot. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share, like, subscribe, share it to your friends, your families, your foes. Let me know what you thought of this Death Battle in the comments. I don't know if I'm looking forward to those, because like I already wasn't a fan of this discussion before this episode happened. I feel like it's not gonna change. I'm not gonna be a fan of the discussion after that. Especially with Hulk winning. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again. That was Toho at your service, and I'll see you later no matter what. I'll see you later for Ruby vs. Mecha. Maybe earlier. Who knows? I'm terrible at outros. Anyway...